also on top of this breaking news. Broken fire hydrant right now shooting water 50 feet into the air north of Escondido. It is flooding people's yards and wreaking havoc all over that neighborhood. We're going to get you live to that scene with our photojournalist in just a moment. First, welcome. I'm Virginia Chow.
I'm Jason Martinez. We want to get to another wet situation, a water issue. A little bit of rain this morning. Here's 10 News meteorologist Megan Perry.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite as bad as it is in that area, but it is pretty slick in some areas. I want to take you to our sky cams where we can see the roads, and you can see over Ramona at the airport a little moist here, and Julian, the roads have been wet since about 4:30. It's also very foggy in this area. I had some wet roads coming in. You may run into that as you're heading in, so it's kind of just enough to make it slippery on the road. So use extra caution if you do run into that. Drive extra slowly. Pinpoint Doppler Live overall not showing too much, but it just may be too light to even show up. Kind of a misty start to our morning. So again, your morning commute, just use caution. Most areas will be fine. Your lunch and your afternoon drive home, it's going to be good, but it is going to be cool. You might want to grab that sweater. Sweater weather today in the 60s for the coast and valleys. I'm going to break down a chance for rain hour by hour when I come back in 8 minutes. Now let's get your 10 News time saver traffic with Polina Estrinos.
Yeah, and it's been busy this morning. We have another problem to report out in North County. This is on the 78 heading westbound through San Marcos. It looks like it is right at Twin Oaks Valley Road. It's a stalled car here with the right lane blocked off. Overall drive times here at 27 minutes as you leave Escondido and continue on over to Oceanside. And then we're still recovering from the earlier two accidents we had on the 805, but unfortunately the 805 always loads up. So right now you're looking at 21 minutes. That's away from the 905 to the 8. Your ultimate, the 5 freeway, just a little bit better. 18 minutes between the 905 and the 8 as well. I'm watching your roadways. We'll head out to East County in just a few minutes. Jason?
Let's get to our breaking news. That sheared fire hydrant shooting water 50 feet into the air right now. It's flooding people's homes in Escondido.
This has been going on for at least half an hour, happening near Rolling Rock Road. Let's get to photojournalist Paul Anderegg. He's on top of it in our 10 News breaking news tracker. Paul?
Yeah, I've made my way onto a house here. Some people let me in to show me some of what's going on at their house, which is a little ways away. Let me walk you through their backyard and show you how bad this flooding is. That hydrant is still shooting out of control. This is part of their backyard. It's actually washing away the hillside back here. Let me try not to fall into this mud here. You can see this giant hole here that used to be dirt. That used to be part of their back wall, and you can see it's just being washed away down onto other property down further down. Their pool, which used to be clear, is now a big muddy brown mess. So they're not going to be using that pool for a while. A little concern here that this is eroding away all this hillside. This is their driveway, and obviously if it goes too much more, there's their house right there. And there's that geyser in the background. You can see looming over everything. Just a very scary sight for them, just because they know what it's doing to their property here.
Yeah, and so, and as you pointed out earlier, Paul, fire crews are there, but they're waiting for the water department to come turn this thing off?
That's correct, and I don't know if fire crews know about this. They haven't been down to this area where I am, and even if they did know about it, there's not really anything they can do about it. They don't have the tools and equipment to shut off the water mains.
Yeah, I imagine waking up to this and trying to figure out what to do. These homeowners are helpless. Paul, have you had a chance to talk to any of them?
I have spoke to them. They said they first heard this and called us in around 4 o'clock this morning. The first report we heard of it was about 5 o'clock when it was dispatched to crews. So there's a little bit of a delay there, about an hour of delay where things weren't happening. So obviously that's something that the residents are a little concerned about.
And these poor homeowners can just sit and watch and pray they can get this turned off sooner rather than later, because look at the damage that's already done. Paul, let us know as crews continue to work to shut this water off in Escondido. All right, breaking overnight as well. Neighbors jarred awake when a car slammed into a house in Edgar, Highlands. The driver backed up and took off as neighbors just watched it all happen in disbelief. 10 News reporter Jim Patton live in front of the house.
So, Jim, the driver drove off but didn't make it very far.
No, she didn't get very far, and neighbors are starting to get up and chatting with us. They didn't want to appear on camera, but they're shedding more light on what happened last night. Let's go ahead and show you the damage. You can see the repair work that's going to have to be done. This wrought iron fence was taken out. You can see the damage to the corner of the house. Good thing that this fence was here. It probably dissipated the energy of the car before it hit the house. And then the woman, as we said, neighbors talking to us, they say they wake up not only to the sound of the collision, but the horn was then slammed on, so the horn is blaring. Neighbors are starting to come out. Then they say she backs out from this location, comes all the way out here. You can actually see where her tire tracks curve around here. She backed into this neighbor's driveway and then sped out the driveway and down the street, down Thermal here, but she did not get far. We've got some shots of her getting a field sobriety test just a few blocks from here, and you can see that she has a lot of trouble keeping her balance. And considering the damage to the house, her vehicle really had relatively minor damage, including a shattered windshield on the passenger side. Little mistaking, though, that the vehicle was connected to all of this. Aside from the damage, shrubbery from the house still embedded in the bumper. Driver was arrested for DUI and hit and run. And there may be more information coming out about this. Neighbors have surveillance cameras. You can see up here, in fact, that there's a surveillance camera on the front of this house. There's also a surveillance camera on the other houses. And they may be able to shed more light on exactly what happened here this morning. Reporting live in Edgar, Highlands, Jim Patton, 10 News.
Here in the 10 News Live Center, lawmakers are demanding answers from President Trump about reports that he shared classified information with Russian officials. And breaking news, just within the past couple hours, he offered an explanation of short. Here in the 10 News Live Center, you could see the tweet saying, "As president, I wanted to share with Russia at an openly scheduled White House meeting, which I had the absolute right to do, facts pertaining to terrorism and airline flight safety, humanitarian reasons, plus I wanted Russia to greatly step up their fight against ISIS and terrorism." Now, you just saw a moment ago the Washington Post story, which says the information is about an ISIS plot in Syria. The article calls the information so sensitive, not even allies have access to it. So a developing story we'll continue to watch here, Virginia.
Happening today, the San Diego City Council considering a proposal to create a special committee to fight homelessness. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is in East Village with more on what that committee is supposed to accomplish. Mimi?
Virginia, they're trying to reduce the amount of homeless people sleeping on the streets, and this as well. It's now moving into residential neighborhoods, people camping out right in front of people's homes. So some city council members believe a new committee dedicated to the issue could fix it. This comes after a 4-hour meeting with the public back in March, focusing on this, the streets full of people. Our homeless population is now more than 9,000, a 5% increase from last year. There was also a large increase in handmade homes on the streets like these tents. So from time to time, the City Council will form select committees to help focus on very pressing and immediate needs for the city. And Councilmember Chris Ward says this year that's clearly homelessness.
This select committee can work on policy, fiscal, and other landscape issues so that we can better direct city resources to help solve homelessness.
The committee would serve the 2017 calendar year, but could be extended. We're live in the East Village this morning. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
New developments in the mayor's proposed budget. He is making changes to it. Today, Mayor Faulkner will announce an updated proposal that adds investments in public safety, infrastructure, and yes, the arts. The original budget called for cuts to arts programs, something that sparked protests. The original budget has also cuts to police officer retention and recruitment. It did include money for fixing our streets and all the potholes. The mayor's office says the budget revision will also include beefing up reserves. As soon as the mayor announces specifics today, we'll be breaking it all down on 10news.com.
It is time to think about what you would do with an extra $1,000.
Because right now, 10 News giving away $1,000. This is your chance to win the cash. Call the number that we will show you on your screen in just a moment. And they're telling me to stretch because the moment is tense enough. We want to make it a little bit more tense. But if you don't win this morning, Chris, you'll have another chance tomorrow. What's that number?
619-237-6370.
That's why she makes the big bucks right there.
I know. Can we get that up? It's easier if you see it. But again, 619-237-6370. There it is.
Okay. Good thing you have a great memory.
10th caller wins.
I would not have remembered that number, even though I say it every morning. Anyway, good luck to you. The 10th caller wins. We'll do our best to let you know who wins as soon as that person is announced.
Yeah, and as you're sitting there calling the phones right now, just so you know, there is a chance for some showers as we head through the morning, and some of the roads may be wet. If we go to pinpoint.the-live, not too much showing up right now, but let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see if you're traveling along the 8 near the Mission Valley, Fashion Valley area, this little cell has been moving through that area, so the roads may be slick there, also around the 5. Up in the North County, maybe a few sprinkles in San Marcos and Oceanside, but there could be a misty out there that's not showing up on the radar. So that is something to keep in mind as you're heading out. I had some wet roads coming in, but actually didn't get any rain. We have about a 10 to 20% chance for some drizzle, light rain through about 10, 11 o'clock this morning. And then that 7 and 9 o'clock that you see a little bit later, that's a few sprinkles. Not expecting much rain after this morning. And even this morning, not expecting much. A few hundredths here or there. Some areas may get just about a tenth of an inch or so. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s along the coast, also for our inland neighborhoods this afternoon, so still well below average, but I'm going to pinpoint when temperatures flirt near 90 in about 10 minutes.